I get asked to define what I do quite often, and I think every time I come up with a different answer, quite naturally, because I work with so many different things. But I suppose I do have a body of work that often works in miniature, so I do often work with scale, let's say. But I think what I do relates so much to the familiar scale of painting and photography that that's how I would probably define what I do often, is sort of use that kind of scale in 3 dimensions, which shifts it into a different reality. And then you start talking about fiction and reality, and I think my work sort of hovers between those two things, if you like. I think in all those different strands of work I'm sort of producing, one of the core questions always is to do with perception and how we look at things, how we perceive things, how we understand things, and how that constantly shifts and changes as you change your subjective reading, if you like. To make a very physical model made of concrete and wood and different materials, and then have these films of landscape behind the sight lines through the windows and the doors, where the reality in the film almost, well, obviously kind of is the fiction in the whole thing. But if you're sort of looking through it, it almost appears as if that was the reality that you see through a fictional model. So it sets up a really odd contradiction of what you're looking at and what is more real or more fictional. And maybe that's what I would quite like people to sort of walk away with questions and ambiguous interpretations.